How's it going, everybody? Texas Man here. I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. Please give this video a thumbs up if you guys really enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys have not already. Also, do me the biggest favor of all, hit the bell notification button so you guys don't miss out on future videos or streams here on my channel. And head over to Twitch and follow me there at Douglas447. I stream there at least once a week, whether it be for Call of Duty, Battlefield, Destiny, Halo, or anything else you guys suggest for me to stream over there. And if you guys have any movies you guys want me to watch and review here on the channel, let me know in the comments section down below. And we're going to be talking about something that I've kind of dipped the water. I've kind of dipped into the water about this type of topic. And I decided, you know what? Instead of me just adding this as part of a podcast question to answer, I felt like this deserved its own separate video, its own little separate little rant. Um, Something that unfortunately is becoming a major issue. It's becoming a conflict. I see this a lot with other people online. I'm seeing this in my own family. I'm seeing this with coworkers. And a lot of people have been asking me, what is the better product for consumer? Which is better, streaming or cable? Primarily, I'm going to be looking at the good and the bad of streaming because streaming is taking over. And whether you like it or not, cable is dying, and it has been slowly dying for the past 8 years. And I give it about another 2 or 3 years, and cable is going to be something that is going to be ancient. I mean, to me personally, it's ancient for me. I don't watch cable TV anymore. I will go to the movies. I used to be able to rent things until my local Blockbuster and Family Video shut down. I used to be able to go to Walmart and get movies for $1 and watch them, or watch them, throw them out when I was done if they were garbage, or keep them. There's been some really good dollar movies from Walmart that I really enjoy. They're bad, but I enjoy them for them being bad. Uh, now we have digital outlets where, you can rent and buy movies digitally using things like Google Play. And then you have all these streaming services. You got Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Hulu, HBO Max, Peacock, Apple, Shudder. Just so many options out there. And I think the biggest problem, though, is that with cable, you used to be able to spend a certain amount of money and you had access to a gigantic library of channels, and you were able to pick and choose or watch everything if you wanted to and have no life, all these amazing shows. The problem now with streaming is that you have to spend per month a certain fee to be able to access the ability to watch one or two shows or a couple good hit movies on one service, and then you've got to spend more money for another service for more awesome movies and shows that are only on that exclusively. And it's now becoming a monetary, you know, it's becoming a monetary issue where you have to jumble, what do you want? Do you want to have one or two streaming services and be content and happy with what is going to be provided on those services, and just realize, yeah, I'm missing out on things, but you know what? I do have other things to take care of in life. Or do you end up watching and spending every single month for all these different streaming services so you don't miss out on anything brand spanking new? So I did some research. Currently, at the time of recording this video, it is March 2021, early March 2021. So this is probably subject to change, and we'll get into that later on in this video. That these prices are not going to stay this way. That's just a fact. Don't, just because of inflation alone, and the fact that the companies that run these streaming services, they're going to get greedy, and they're going to get into a streaming war, and they're going to want to have as many people as possible on their streaming services. So right now, most people are spending $75 to $200 a month for cable. Um, it's probably on the upper side for a lot of people that still have cable, because the cable companies realize that their service is going out the wazoo. It's dying. It's been dying for 8 years plus now because of streaming. So a lot of people don't want to spend for that. And a lot of people are like, okay, streaming is going to be better, it's going to be cheaper, or people are going to be able to afford to, do streaming, and it's going to be easier on their wallets, easier on their budgets. But here's the problem: it really hasn't. And we're going to look at some figures and numbers just based on about 9, 10 of the biggest streaming services out there right now. Netflix runs you $14 a month. That gets you access to things like The Crown, The Witcher, and Stranger Things. Disney Plus, which you guys know I have, just went up. It's $8 a month, not $7 a month anymore. It's $8 a month. That gets you access to things like The Mandalorian, WandaVision, Star Wars The Clone Wars. You're going to be getting, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, The Bad Batch, Loki, everything Star Wars and Marvel. You get access to exclusive movies like Flora and Ulysses. And then you have access to the entire Disney content vault. Unless you're under 7, you can't watch Peter Pan because of racial problems in the world right now. But you have access to basically everything from the past, 50, 60, 70 years from the content vault of Disney for Disney Plus, which is, to me is a really great, thing. Next we have Amazon Prime, $13 a month to get you access to things like, Vikings, The Boys, The Expanse. Hulu, $12 a month, get you access to things like Runaways and Doves. HBO Max, $15 a month, get you access to things like The Watchmen, Barry, and exclusive movies like the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, Dune, Godzilla vs. King Kong, The Little Things, things like that. Next we have Paramount Plus, $10 a month, get you access to Star Trek Discovery, the Halo series that is coming, the Avatar shows, movies, and everything else that's going to be coming out in the future for Avatar. It's going to be on Paramount Plus, $10 a month for that. Peacock is $10 a month. Gets you access to things like The Office and Parks and Recreation. Next we have Apple TV Plus, $5 a month. That won't stay that way that long. Get you access to things like Ted Lasso and For All Mankind. Another streaming service, Showtime, $11 a month. Get you access to things like Shameless and Billions. And then lastly, to keep this video as short as possible, hopefully, Starz, $9 a month, get you access to things like American Gods and Outlander. Do you see what I just had to do? I had to go down a literal list. That's just 10 streaming services right there, ladies and gentlemen. 10. You guys want to take a quick second and guess how much those 10 streaming services cost together? Those 10 alone, how much do you think that runs a month? We haven't even talked about things like Shudder and other really small streaming services. How much do you think these major 10 that are out there right now cost a month? Take a guess. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. You guys ready? $107 a month. Think about that for a second. $107 a month. That doesn't include the rise of inflation that's coming. That doesn't cover your Wi-Fi bill. That doesn't cover your electricity bill to run your machines. And that doesn't even help the fact that what happens when the power goes out? What happens when you don't have access to Wi-Fi? What happens when you don't even have access to data? What happens when there's a power outage? Snow, wind, a tornado, firestorm, whatever. You're spending $107 a month for all those services. And those services are going to go up. Like I just said, Disney Plus used to be $7 a month. Now it's $8 a month. Because I know people are really getting invested with things like WandaVision, the rest of the MCU, and the exclusive movies. Whether you like it or not, those streaming services that I just mentioned, and the ones that I haven't mentioned, they're going to go up in cost per month for you to enjoy their programming. So my question to you guys is, do you pick one or two services and be content and happy with what you have? Or do you spend that $107 a month and you have access to everything? But here's the problem. Is that people thought, and I wasn't one of those people. I didn't care. I really haven't cared all that much for streaming. I mean, I was gonna get Netflix. For those of you guys who know me really well, you already know this. I was planning on getting Netflix just so I could have access to like the Marvel things, like the Defenders and Stranger Things. Well, Marvel bought Fox, so all those Marvel shows that used to be on Netflix are all gone now. And so the only thing that really, for me, that I care about is Stranger Things. Well, I have a friend that has Stranger Things, so I just go over to his house, binge watch the entire season, and I'm done. Disney Plus, the only reason I have that is because I have Star Wars, Clone Wars, and things for the Marvel Universe. If it didn't have those two things, I would not have Disney Plus. I just wouldn't. HBO Max, I have a friend that has HBO Max. I'm going to go over to his house and watch the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, and I will see Godzilla vs. King Kong in theaters. I saw the little things in theaters. I don't need that service. I might get Paramount Plus so I can enjoy watching the Halo show because I really love Halo. If you guys can't tell, and Avatar, I really enjoy the original series, but Legend of Korra honestly was garbage for me. I didn't like it. I couldn't watch past the first 2 episodes, and I've seen how the show ends, and I don't care to have to figure out what happens in between the beginning and end. I don't care for it. Um, so the biggest problem back to the main question of the video is which is better, streaming or cable? Like I said, cable runs between $75 to $200 a month for most people. If it's cheaper for you, congratulations. If it's just more expensive than $200 a month, I don't know why you're paying that. That's just outrageous. I think $200 a month for anything is outrageous. But the problem is cable is $75 to $200 a month. That's just your given average. Right now, most people are spending $107 a month for streaming for all these programs. Streaming was supposed to make it where it was a cheaper option compared to cable, but now it's not. It is it's catching up to the cost of cable. So, which is better, streaming or cable? To me, streaming is, because I'm happy with Disney Plus, and then I just make it where I know certain people that have other things. I have a friend that's living with me right now, and he has Amazon Prime, and I won't give his name because I know he doesn't want me to do that. But my friend, he lets me watch Amazon Prime. I've had a chance to watch some of the Vikings show. I've seen some of The Expanse, Game of Thrones. What was another thing that was on it? The Boys. I've seen some of The Boys with him. So it's just really weird. People are just spending tons of money on all these services, thinking that, oh, I'm going to spend for all these streaming services and it's going to be cheaper over cable. The problem is it's basically costs the same amount. So there's not a price war difference. You're just paying for different programs now, and you're not having access to as much content as you would normally when it came to cable. Let's also topple this fact that more streaming services are coming. There's already 4 to 10 services already in the pipeworks. Every single corporation, every corporate thing on this planet is going to have a streaming service. I'm surprised Google doesn't have a streaming service yet. Probably because they tried to do Stadia and that flopped it just flopped. I'll just leave it at that. It just flopped. But Disney's got it. Paramount's got one. Netflix has one. I remember when Netflix actually used to be a rental thing, not a streaming service. Kind of like a Redbox. If you guys remember those days. Good days. You've got Warner Brothers, and just everyone has a streaming service. And those that don't, they're working on theirs. I promise you. People like Google are going to have a streaming service eventually. Which scares me because that means Google Play might die. Also, let's talk about a couple more things. We are currently in the acquisition phase of streaming. That's what we live in. Eventually, the acquisition phase, where everyone's buying out all these companies, you see like Microsoft just bought Bethesda a while back. Eventually, that's all going to end. And eventually, when the acquisition phase ends, everything cost-wise is going to skyrocket for the customer. $107 a month is eventually going to double and perhaps even triple in cost. Eventually, streaming is going to cost more than cable. I give it about 2 to 3 years, and we're going to enter what I will call the streaming war. The streaming war is going to begin in about 2 to 3 years. And what I mean by that is right now, everyone has the ability to try out all these different services and get their feet wet and see what they like and don't like. And that's just because we're in the acquisition phase. When the acquisition phase ends, everything is going to go in cost. Netflix ain't going to run $14 a month. Honestly, based on what is on there, for anybody that really cares about everything that's on there, Netflix should cost you about 25 to 30 bucks a month. And they'd be fine with it. Netflix doesn't make that much money off of the Netflix streaming service. They really don't. They are constantly in a financial loss when they're doing these streaming services. Disney Plus, $8 a month? Come on. It's Disney. Yes, they are a trillion-dollar company, but they're gonna increase that. They've increased it from 7 to 8. They're going to increase it again and again and again. Amazon Prime. I remember then that used to be like $5 or $8. Now it's $13 a month. HBO Max. I remember when that used to be 10. Now it's 15. I remember where Peacock used to be free. Now it's $10 a month. And it's just going to keep going up and up and up and up and up. And everyone's going to have this big collision course of prices over programming. And eventually it's going to make it where everything's going to go up and 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 up. And eventually it's going to hit a threshold and people are going to just stop spending for it like they are for cable. And eventually it's going to have to come down or streaming is going to die. Like eventually people will hit a threshold of like, okay, I can't afford to pay for all these services. And people are going to end up making it where they're just going to stop. Now, another question that I'm curious is, will streaming, because of all these programming, is it going to kill movie theaters? If people are spending $100 to $300 a month for all these services, are people going to stop going to the movie theaters? Are people going to stop buying Blu-rays? Are people going to stop renting and getting things digitally from other stores because they're going to be spending so much money on these streaming services? That's all they're going to watch. Will that also kill movie theaters? I mean, if you can see Godzilla vs. King Kong on HBO Max, why would you go to the movie theater to go see it too if you're already paying for the service? It just makes no sense, right? Also, I'm curious as to whether or not people are going to make it where they only spend for 1 month of a service. They'll binge watch a show once it's aired all of its episodes. They'll binge watch the best, new ideas and movies and stuff. And they'll binge watch everything for like a month on that service. And once they're done, they'll cancel their subscription and then they'll move on to the next service. Like, let's say, for example, I will spend 1 month so I can binge watch everything for Stranger Things Season 6, for example. I'm not saying there is, but Stranger Things Season 6. I'll binge watch everything, cancel my subscription, and move on to HBO Max, and I'll watch Godzilla vs. King Kong 10. Cancel that subscription, move on to Hulu, watch whatever, okay? That's what I think is going to end up happening, so people can enjoy everything that's out there, but not have to keep paying every single month just because, oh look, it's got this one flashy thing. And that's been a problem for a lot of the streaming services right now, is they have like 1 or 2 things and that's it, and it takes them another year before they get anything else. Also, I'm kind of curious, and let me know in the comments section, do you guys agree or disagree with this possibly coming? Will we get streaming services as bundles? Now, yes, you can get like Disney Plus with Hulu and ESPN, but I'm thinking, what if streaming services made it where you could get Disney Plus and HBO Max combined for like $30-$35? Could that happen? So the question for you guys, and I'd like to know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comments section, which is better, streaming or cable? Based on the information that I have provided for you guys, which do you think is better? Cable, $75 to $200 a month, or streaming, where it's $107 a month right now, and it's going to double and possibly triple because of inflation come the next 3 years. It's kind of scary to think about. When you think about it, and I'm saying this out loud, it's kind of scary. I have Disney Plus, and that's all I have. And I'm completely happy and content with what is provided on the service. But most people, unfortunately, in this day and age, are not happy and content. They want everything. They want to be able to watch everything so they can be part of multiple conversations and be knowledgeable, which is fine. But I just have other things that I do, like my YouTube channel. If I had all these other programs, my goodness sakes, I would not be able to do this channel whatsoever. Definitely would not be able to do live streams where I give away Google cards and things like that because I would be spending $100 to $300 a month for all these services. I would not be able to do it financially. No, it would not. It would never happen again. And that is the problem. It's going to become a financial burden on the customer to have to pick and choose. I mean, it's already starting to become that for a lot of people, but just give it 2 or 3 years and people are going to start, crying that they want cable back. The problem is this cable was dying. It costs way too much to keep the infrastructure of cable, and it's cheaper to do the infrastructure of streaming. It just is. Yet they're going to keep raising the price because of corporate greed, and that's just a fact of business. So let me know in the comment section which you guys think is better, streaming or cable, based on this information. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Bye, guys.